watching the IUP TV News Bulletin, bringing you stories relevant to IUP and the Indiana community on Channels 6 and 20.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining our news broadcast from Davis Hall. My name is Chloe Pilston.
And I'm John Hurl, bringing you stories relevant to IUP and the Indiana community. We will broadcast this program every Thursday for the rest of the semester.
Happening now on campus is the You Matter movement, so you will see students located at different spots on campus with the signs saying the phrase, You Matter. This event is promoting positive mental health, all while bringing the IUP community together. The first time the campus held this movement was back in the fall semester of 2022, and with only 65 participants, there was amazing feedback from all over Indiana. This event is sponsored by the Sigma Pi fraternity and the Interfraternity Council of IUP. The goal of the You Matter movement is to change at least one person's life.
March has arrived, and with it comes registration for IUP students. As of March 1st, students can now view what classes are available for the summer and fall semesters, and at the end of the month, they can start registering. As early as March 27th, veteran students can pick out their classes, then other priority students may on March 28th. After that, graduate and senior students are able to register on March 29th, followed by juniors on March 31st, sophomores on April 3rd, and freshmen on April 5th. Previously, sophomore students were the last to be able to register for classes, but it seems IUP has made registration times in order of seniority, with the earliest times for the seniors and the last for freshmen. This should be good news for sophomores that may have struggled to get the classes they wanted last semester.
IUP's Eberly College of Business MBA program was selected as one of the top programs in the nation by the Princeton Review. These programs were selected based on data collected by editors and surveys filled out by students based on their experiences. The dean of the Eberly Business College says that the consistent recognition from the Princeton Review puts IUP in the top tier of all business schools in the country. This is a big deal for our campus because it continues to show that we are a college where students can come for a great education while not spending their lives in debt.
Classes in the Penns Manor School District remain canceled today as the teachers' strike enters its fourth day. Teachers continue to be on the picket lines as they protest the lack of a fair contract. On Tuesday night, citizens from across the district attended a meeting to present information on the negotiations. This included a lengthy PowerPoint presentation that included statistics, statements, and budgetary analyses that supported the district's position in the negotiations, including information on health insurance benefits and the early retirement incentive and compensation. There is no information on if there are any new negotiation sessions scheduled, but both sides have said they are willing to return.
There are organizations on campus that some people may not even know exist. IUP has many opportunities for students, and our reporter Levi Donaldson has the story on the Student Film Association.
The Student Film Association is a student-run club that manages filmmaking. Each year they produce short films and provide opportunities for people who want to get involved in making movies. They've operated for 7 years so far and are still going strong.
Hi, my name is Miles McJersick, and I'm the Vice President of the Student Film Association here at IUP. The SFA has really changed a lot since I joined. This is my second year. I joined the year we came back from COVID. I tried doing some stuff over COVID, but it was really hard for us to get together, so I ended up quitting. But our numbers have just greatly grown. We're doing a longer film this year. In the past, we've done like 2, 3, 5-minute shorts. Getting beyond 5 was like kind of long for us. This year, we're going for like 15 to 20 minutes, and we're in the third week of our filming right now, so it's been a great prep time. I think SFA is headed in a really great direction. Like I said, our numbers are way up. There's a lot of people showing interest in the club itself. Right now, Cole Kilhofer, he's our president, and he's got a great creative mind, and he really likes hearing from, the freshmen, which isn't always something that happens in every club. So we try to get all of our members involved any way possible, whether they throw out an idea for a part of a scene or a costume or a certain line, even if it's just one thing. We try to integrate everybody in our club as best that we can. The film we're working on currently is called Graveyard Bouquet for William. It's going to premiere at the IUP Film Fest on April 7th, and I'll get times to you if you're interested in that. But it's a queer love story. There's heartbreak, there's supernatural entities in it. It's really interesting. I think it's different from a lot of the things that we've done in the past, so I'm really excited about this one, and I think it's going to be something really cool. So, join SFA. We love new recruits, we love creative minds, we love actors, camera people, audio engineers, directors, script writers, any creative mind that you are. Even if you're like an interior designer, come help us put our set together. Like anything that is artistic about you, we can implement that in the club, and we'd love to have as many people as possible.
My name is Austin Hutchison. I'm a senior here at IUP. Joining FSFA was pretty cool. I've never done anything like that before, but it's always been something I'm interested in, so I like to learn, get a little hand in everything. Playing a lead role is definitely, it's interesting, a learning experience, I should say, because like I've never acted it before, like outside of like some dumb videos with friends, but it's always like another thing. It's just something that I was interested in, and they kind of encouraged me to try it out, and it just happened to work. So it's pretty cool. The environment's pretty fun. It's usually pretty loose, unless it's like we're running out of time on a scene and things might get tense. But it's usually pretty loose. It's a lot of trying to think of like how would the character be thinking and feeling in this moment, and trying to figure out how to convey that. So it's pretty fun. If you're thinking about joining the SFA, definitely do it, because you get to work with a lot of people, so you're meeting a lot of new people who are coming in with creative ideas that can help your creative ideas, and you can all help each other. So I think it's a good opportunity for people to try some things out and learn things firsthand.
The SFA has room for anyone, and lots of people have found it very rewarding. Remember to stay tuned for their upcoming film. I'm Levi Donaldson for IUP News.
A Chick-fil-A restaurant in Royersford, PA announced a new policy that bans children under the age of 16 from eating there without an adult present. Management said they made the decision due to poor behavior by children that had been dropped off at a local bounce park and then walked over to the Chick-fil-A. The franchise reportedly contemplated for a long time before coming to the decision, as it is important to them to be a community restaurant, but some issues needed to be addressed. The restaurant said the children and teens are loud, they use explicit language, throw food and trash on tables and the floor, vandalize furniture, steal decorations, and disrespect employees. Reactions to the announcement were mixed, but the franchise doesn't seem to be changing this ban anytime soon.
Pennsylvania State Senator John Fetterman is on the path to recovery after checking himself into a hospital for clinical depression earlier this month. In May of 2022, Fetterman suffered from a stroke that left his daily life very different. Some things that were affected were his speaking and his hearing. According to the American Stroke Association, clinical depression affects roughly 1/3 of all stroke survivors. Fetterman will still be away from the Senate for several more weeks, but things are starting to look up at this time.
There are a lot of ways to enjoy the arts on campus, from going to art shows to watching theater productions put on by students. Our own Hannah Holland recently covered a story on the symphony orchestra. Let's take a look.
Every Monday and Wednesday evening, passers-by can hear music coming from Cogswell Hall, room 121. This music is the IUP Symphony Orchestra practicing for one of their many concerts. Their first concert for this semester will be this Friday, March 3rd. Instead of having this concert on IUP's campus, the Symphony Orchestra's director, Rebecca O'Brien, opted to have the concert here at Calvary Presbyterian Church.
So the orchestra performance is being held at Calvary Presbyterian Church on School Street, because they just newly renovated the sanctuary, and we have been invited to offer this premiere concert featuring their organ in the beautiful space that can hold the orchestra, and a nice audience as well.
Performing in this concert are over 40 IUP students from different majors who all share one passion: music. One of these students is Callista McFeeters, a junior studying marketing with a minor in music. She has been in IUP's symphony orchestra for the last 3 years.
This is super exciting, actually. This is my first semester with a new title of concert mistress, so I'm just really excited for it.
The symphony orchestra has been practicing in the church's sanctuary this week to get ready for the concert.
We're all super excited to be performing in this beautiful space, and they have an organ in there that sounds gorgeous.
Once again, the concert will be this Friday, March 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at Calvary Presbyterian Church, 695 School Street. Admission is free. This is Hannah Holland reporting for IUP TV News.
The Biden administration hopes to take away $400 billion in student debt. This plan has faced many roadblocks. Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, South Carolina, and 2 other individuals have sued to stop the plan from going through. The court heard the 2 arguments on Tuesday, and now the justices will vote in private in the upcoming days. Chief Justice John Roberts Jr. indicated that the administration had begun acting on this plan before receiving the proper congressional authorization. The final decision will take time due to the ambitious and expensive nature of President Biden's plan.
A new diamond sphere could be the key to unlocking clean power. Scientists at the National Ignition Facility in California aimed the 192-beam laser at the cylinder containing a tiny diamond fuel capsule. The NIF has done such experiments before, but this went above what any test had done before. Scientists have been working for decades to replicate a fusion reaction that would generate abundant carbon-free electricity, and this small diamond ball might be the missing link. Yet with this new development, scientists claim that there's still much more to go before such technology could be a viable source of energy.
Hospitality is a major choice offered here at IUP, and our reporter Katie Campbell has a story on how this degree can even be used in the healthcare field setting.
The hospitality department at IUP is located at Ackerman Hall and has been looking into what it looks like to have hospitality students involved in healthcare. Where might a hospitality degree fit into a hospital setting? Megan Perez is the student at IUP who is spearheading this idea.
If you think about it, hospitality is serving others and customer service. So in hospitals, it's all about patient care. So if you put those 2 together, patient services.
This is not a career that most hospitality students would naturally consider. Hospitality in the health field is not just an idea. Megan, alongside IUP's hospitality professor, Miss Buse, are leading a subclass of students at the hospital. In this, they are collecting data to use in research to show how hospitality in the hospital can benefit patient experiences.
Basically, this started as a volunteer program with our honors fraternity, Eta Sigma Delta, which is an international hospitality management honors fraternity. Because a representative from the hospital reached out to me. They wanted help with increasing their patient satisfaction scores. And they started seeing trends in other hospitals where they had employees where their job was like a hospitality ambassador or a hospitality executive. And it was really a way to increase patient experience scores, kind of like you do customer experience scores in a restaurant or a hotel.
Megan has been IRMC's first hospitality intern and is now their part-time intern volunteer services and works with their auxiliary.
Hospitality is not just a career path, it's a way of life. You live it out, you breathe it, you serve, and that's a perfect community that I want to be in.
As a career, this sounds like a great idea. Employees who are focused on patient satisfaction working alongside nurses who are focused on patient health.
It's not necessarily a new concept, but it's almost going back to an old concept and reframing it to make the healthcare experience even better.
When it comes to the hospital, how might this affect the environment? Leah Baum is a graduating nursing student soon to join Conema Memorial Medical Center in their team of nurses. I asked what her thoughts were on what it would look like to have a hospitality employee in the medical team.
I would say it would make a positive impact in like the hospital environment because yes, that is like what we want to have like for the patients because they will have better outcomes if they are cared for in the like most positive way. But it would definitely be helpful to have someone else that's like kind of steering that and like able to make that a priority for them.
As time goes on, IUP will gather more research on how adding more hospitality to a hospital can increase patient experiences.
I would love to see even a liberal studies class, just a class related on customer service, hospitality for any major, especially any major that deals with people or the public. And who knows, a partnership maybe with nursing or other types of departments. Right now it's really kind of a volunteer research project, but I definitely would like to see it evolve into something more.
Hospitality is not just restaurants, not just hotels, not just any other area that you can go into. It's also serving people so much bigger than yourself.
Currently, the careers that most closely resemble this image are those who coordinate hotels and accommodations for out-of-town families. It is unsure where this idea will grow from here, but one thing is for sure, that IUP will be doing its best in staying on top of unique opportunities for their students, motivating them to achieve the best they can be, inspiring them to try new things, and propelling them to be the best they can be. This is Katie Jo Campbell with IUP TV News.
Reading is an important part of your education and your growth.
That's right, Chloe, and the importance of reading started with the Reading Across America initiative. It is observed on Thursday, March 2nd annually as a way to engage more students in reading. Reporter Abram Ashelman gave us a deeper look into this important initiative.
Thursday, March 2nd is Dr. Seuss's birthday, and in his honor, the annual beginning to Read Across America Week. Read Across America Week is an annual event created to encourage children and teens to read books outside of the classroom. However, what happens to those who age out of that target demographic? Once you exit K-12, is reading still a priority for you? College students and young adults lead busy and stressful lives. Does it leave enough time to fall in love with reading?
My name is Sam Bigham. I'm a third year. My majors are history and political science. I'm in the honors college and we have to write an honors thesis as a midterm. So I'm in the psychology unit, so I'm writing my paper about basically psychology and fascism. So I'm reading books about that topic. And then sometimes it can be hard to read because I want to read books that are about history and politics, and those can be pretty heavy. So it can be hard to get into it and commit myself to reading like a chapter a day.
For Bigham, he wants to read, but lacks the motivation to take the time to read as much as he would like to. He also must balance this time with assignments, such as his thesis paper. Other students are kept away from reading both by assignments and other distractions.
I'm Hannah Roth. I'm an anthropology major, and I'm a junior. I used to read an abundant amount because I would have this app, Read to Go, that was with Bookshare. So I would just download any book that was on the library digitally on my phone, and I would just read every day, the whole day. But now it's a lot more constricted due to academic demands. I don't even read my readings that I should be doing, so I don't really read as much of my free time anymore. I think if smartphones were to have never existed and we were to have never developed the software for social media and TV and movie entertainment without the distractions of the outside world and capitalism and all other factors of technological distractions, we would be forced to not only develop our cognitive imagination a lot more, but to turn to books as our main source of entertainment.
Balancing assignments, work, and the beginnings of adult life, it can seem that college students struggle to find time to read for themselves.
I'm Amy, I'm a senior, and I'm an early childhood special education major, and I work at the library at the information desk. I'll read books in the summer because that's the only time I have time. So I'll read books in the summer. I like romance books, like big Colin Hoover fan or Colleen Hoover. I would like to. I have a book sitting beside my bed, but when I get home from school, I either work or have homework and stuff to do, so I don't really have time to read. I'm constantly just go. So maybe after I graduate, I'll have time. because I won't have homework.
Events like Read Across America may foster reading in young readers, but what can be done to keep reading a priority for older audiences? How can adult readers make time for books? I'm Abram Eshelman, IUP TV News, reporting.
John, I must say, at this point of the year, I am over this cold weather. What do the upcoming days have in store for us?
Well, the weather in the coming week will continue to fluctuate as we prepare for March. Friday will bring rain with a low of 37 degrees and a high of 39 degrees, but the rain will shortly stop on Saturday morning. Throughout the next week, the high temperatures will remain in the mid to low 40s, with the low temperature reaching 22 degrees next Tuesday and Wednesday. Besides Friday and Saturday, we can expect an absence of rain, but the sun will continue to hide behind the clouds for the coming week, making for a chilly week ahead.
After the break, we will go to our sports correspondent, Nathan Osler, for his report.
In sports news, the Pittsburgh Penguins officially placed Brock McGinn and Mark Friedman on waivers. If both are claimed by another team, the Penguins would gain a good amount of cap space to go out and trade for a new player ahead of the trade deadline. These waiver moves come after Kasperi Kapanen was put on waivers by the Penguins. The New York Rangers finally made the move to trade for long-tenured Chicago Blackhawks star Patrick Kane. The Rangers have been linked to Kane for months now, and this is a move that makes them a bigger threat to win the Stanley Cup. The Blackhawks will receive a 2023 second and fourth round draft pick in return. That is going to do it for today's sports report. I'm Nathan Osler. Now back to you guys.
February marked 1 year of the attack on Ukraine. During this past year, thousands of lives have been lost and millions of people have been displaced. On top of the death toll, the economic and environmental impact caused by this war has been catastrophic. Over the past 12 months, gas prices and carbon emissions have peaked globally. Although Ukrainians have not given up and continue to fight for their country, there is no clear end in sight to this war.
Researchers from Kenya's Medical Research Institute have detected a new species of mosquito that is resistant to locally used insecticides. They also discovered the insect to have the potential to transmit malaria throughout the year, unlike traditional malaria-causing mosquitoes. The mosquito species was previously only known to spread malaria in South Asia and parts of the Arabian Peninsula. However, it has been expanding geographically, with it first being detected in Africa in Djibouti in 2012, and has recently been found in several other African nations such as Nigeria, Somalia, Ethiopia, and Sudan. This, however, is the first time the mosquito has been detected in Kenya, and its arrival is raising concern among researchers who say malaria transmission may continue year-round rather than being seasonal due to its ability to spread quickly to new areas regardless of climatic and environmental conditions. Kenya's Medical Research Institute is currently conducting a coordinated response to the new mosquito threat, urging people to cover all water containers to avoid mosquito breeding and utilize available malaria control tools such as mosquito nets and wear long-sleeved clothing.
What's better than getting out of the house with friends all while getting into the competitive spirit? Our reporters John Hurl and Megan Carpenter have the story on where you can find bingo games happening at IUP.
Friday nights at IUP are made up of students roaming Philadelphia Street and swarming Sheets. But for some students, the place to be is the Ohio Room in the Hub.
I-27.
Before the pandemic hit in 2020, they brought in around 200 students each week, but those students dwindled when they had to switch to virtual bingo over Zoom. Here, now back in person, many students gather with their friends for a few hours of bingo, with many attending during homecoming week and other special events. Nearly every Friday at 9:30, an average of 100 students flock to the hub in hopes for winning that week's collection of prizes, which range from mini fridges to record players to coffee makers. Liv Durant is a student who frequents Friday night bingo.
I go here because it's a really fun time with my friends. I come here with my best friend Morgan, and I get some great prizes such as these. This was the grand prize this time. And it's a good environment. I can get my chaotic side out every now and then. I get to scream as loud as I want to, raise the energy in the room, and have a great time with just the other students on campus. Good for the morale.
IUP's Alcohol, Tobacco, and Other Drugs Organization, or ATOD, helps make bingo possible every week. Shayla Walker, a member of ATOD, has been running it since she was a freshman.
I chose to run bingo just because it was an event that I frequently came to as a freshman. It was my first semester kind of activity that I came into. I thought it was something that I would thoroughly enjoy. I decided to join bingo my second semester as a freshman, and I've been doing it since, and now I'll be graduating running this program, so I think it's kind of cool. Bingo helps the IUP community in the way that it brings students all together on a Friday night rather than having students out all the time partying. So I see it as like everybody coming together, having this opportunity of winning all these really cool prizes, and just meeting one another and kind of mingling and having a good time.
Bingo seems to be an exciting event that brings students out of their dorms and away from parties for some good-natured fun. And with the possibility of winning...
Okay, we have a good bingo!
Bingo will remain to be a welcome addition to the weekly events here at IUP. This has been John Hurl for IUP News. If you have no plan this weekend, you can come and watch a play 9 Days in the Sun. If you're curious about what it is, here's the story. Our reporters Exasi Mpemba and Ethan Mendat visited the rehearsal and share their story.
This semester, IUP's Theater by the Grove is going big and bold with the play 9 Days in the Sun. And for the first time in IUP history, the students of IUP are teaming up with the Pittsburgh Playwright Theater Company, or PPTCO, in order to put on a show. Written by Mark Suthers, one of the founders of PPTCO, 9 Days in the Sun is a show designed to explore our differences in the form of a what-if scenario.
I'm hoping that audiences, this provokes thought for them, that they really stop and think, what was this show about? What can I learn from this show?
The play is being co-directed by Jamaica Johnson of PPTCO and IUP's own Professor Michael Schwartz, creating a unique environment for the actors. XUC Pemba, the lightboard operator for this show, describes what it's like to work on a joint production of this nature.
It's interesting because it's something new that IUP has never done before, working with the Pittsburgh theater company, and so having to deal with that, it was a lot more challenge of scheduling and stuff like that, but it also more so when talking about the lighting side of things, it made things a lot more interesting, especially with the different diversity and how we tackle that, and more so how we use color to define which side the different groups are part of and how that deals with it.
The show will hit the main stage at Waller Hall on March 2nd at 7:30 p.m. and run until March 5th. You can get your tickets online or at Waller Hall. This has been Ethan Mendat reporting for IUP TV News.
And that's going to be it for us this week at IUP News in association with students looking for careers in the communications field. We'll be back next Thursday with stories related to spring break and International Women's Day and other interesting stories. I'm John Hurl.
And I'm Chloe Pilston, and we are your hosts for today. Please take care and have a safe weekend.